Well, it's Tuesday night's debate in Nevada, a presidential forum or a dogfight. Candidates attacked each other personally, and everyone seemed like they were trying to outflank the others to the far right on issues like taxes, immigration, and even religion. And one candidate absent was Jon Huntsman, the former governor of Utah and ambassador to China under President Obama, who boycotted, actually, because Nevada was planning to move up its caucus date close to New Hampshire's. Governor Huntsman has focused his resources on New Hampshire, where polls show he'll have a tough time coming out ahead, but according to the latest NBC News Marist poll, Huntsman is trailing Mitt Romney by nearly 40 points up there. And nationally, in the latest CNN poll, Huntsman came in last place with just 1% support. When it comes to the Republican Party in 2011, it's lonely at the center. We're joined now by Governor Jon Huntsman. As I was saying beforehand, and I always speak the same off-air as on, I know a lot of Republicans in Pennsylvania, where my brother's very active as a Republican, who are very good on science, well-educated, believe this country's got to compete with countries like China. They have to know technology and science. They can't become, Luddites.
So how do you break through? You're not going to break through in a straw poll. I mean, this is artificiality at the extreme in politics. You go to Iowa, you bust people in per capita, you pay them, you put Randy Travis in the tent, you give them a good dinner, and you ask for their vote. Who's not going to vote for you under those conditions? So you might win Iowa, you might lose Florida, but eventually we're going to get to New Hampshire, where you've got to earn the vote. There's no artificiality associated with New Hampshire. You've got to get in there, grind it out, town hall meeting after town hall meeting, house party after house party. Chris, we've done 80 events now in New Hampshire. And you can begin to feel when you connect with people on the street. When you're in those town hall meetings, you can feel the energy when you're making your presentation and when you do the hour of Q&A. They want to drill down. They want to know your heart and soul. They want to know what makes you tick.
Are there still those live free or die Republicans, those old Yankees up there who are not right-wingers?
Oh, of course. You've got 30% Republicans, 30% Democrats, 40% who are unaffiliated, and that number is expanding. So if you want to do well in New Hampshire, you've got to have a message that sells.
Let's take a look at this quote of yours, which I found quite winsome. Back in August, in response to some statements by others in your party, you tweeted the following: "To be clear, I believe in evolution, and I trust scientists on global warming. Call me crazy." But that was a delightful comment, but it was basically you were whisking away the rest of these people in your party because they began to look crazy by the way you said that.
Well, I was being true to who I am, Chris. This is what I talked about as governor. It's out of the Teddy Roosevelt view of the world. The Republican Party, we forget, draws a heritage that goes back to 1860.
Name me a few Teddy Roosevelts in the Republican Party of Tea Party Day today.
Well,
can you name any? Reasonable people.
Well, Tom Ridge, who was out campaigning for us.
Okay, former governor of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there are
Who
people
else?
like
Keep
Tom
going.
Ridge. We're not going to play that name.
I just wonder if there are many more than a couple of you guys. Christy Whitman, perhaps. I just don't think there's many. Susan Collins, Olympia Snow. You lost Specter.
Listen, it's ideas that matter. Okay. And ideas are going to carry the 2012
Okay, here's what ideas
cycle.
concern me. This is about compassionate conservatism, which Bush Jr. ran on. Let's watch some examples from past debates of what I consider outrageous public performances by the audiences.
In 2010, when I was deployed to Iraq, I had to lie about who I was because I'm a gay soldier, and I didn't want to lose my job. My question is, under one of your presidencies, do you intend to circumvent the progress that's been made for gay and lesbian soldiers in the military?
Your state has executed 234 death row inmates, more than any other governor in modern times. Have you struggled to sleep at night with the idea that any one of those might have been innocent?
No, sir, I've never struggled with that at all.
That's what freedom is all about, taking your own risk. This whole idea that you have to prepare and take care of everybody.
But, Congressman, are you saying the society should just let him die?
No.
Yes, let him die. The guy who was comatose at 30 because he didn't have life insurance or health insurance. Death penalty, executions by the hundreds in Texas being cheered on. A gay soldier in uniform on post in Iraq booed. Why don't you stand up and say, this isn't my America?
Well,
why didn't you personally stand up when you're surrounded by this horror show?
Chris, you're on stage, and oftentimes there's a lot of banter out there. You don't know where it's coming from. So you get off the stage, you're asked about it, and I responded. I said, turn to that soldier and thank him for his service. Thank him for his service along with all the other soldiers.
Good for you.
We all wear the same uniform and salute the same flag.
Well, what do you make of your party? Are you proud to be in the party right now that you're watching in these debates?
Listen, I've been a Republican since I was 18 years of age. And there are twists and turns ahead, but let me tell you about where the Republican Party goes. The Republican Party follows leadership. It follows vision. 2012 is going to be a visionary election. It's going to be about getting this economy back on its feet. It's going to be about securing our position in the world. I also believe it's going to be about addressing our two wars abroad. We've got to be realistic about our deployment patterns. I mean, we're the second decade into the 21st century. You still have 50,000 troops in Germany. I mean, the Russians aren't coming
What do you
anymore.
think we should do in Afghanistan? Come home?
We need to draw down. We need to pull them back, and we need to say this is a counterterror effort. We need to say this requires intelligence gathering, special forces response, a much smaller presence. We should not be nation building at a time when this nation needs to be built. So what we need to do.
Okay, look at the last years, starting in 2001 when President Bush came in after 9/11. We went to Iraq. We went to Afghanistan. We went to Iraq, which I never understood going to Iraq logically. Do you think the pattern was wrong, led by George W. Bush? Too much aggressive foreign policy, too hawkish.
Yeah.
Well, do you think so or not?
Don't need to relitigate that.
Why not?
You say when it follows our key national security interests like Afghanistan. Absolutely. In Afghanistan, what have we done in Afghanistan? We've routed the Taliban. We've dismantled al-Qaeda. We've killed Osama bin Laden. We've had free elections in 2004. I say we've achieved our objective. It's time to come home.
Was Iraq smart or not?
I don't want to relitigate that, Chris. A lot of us felt that it wasn't a good thing. And here we are. You make the best of it. We have to clean up the mess. You have to move on and secure our interests. And that's where we are.
I look at this campaign and the way it's going on the Republican side, and I find a disconnect. I look at Romney getting big numbers, and I see no love for him in the party. I see no love for him among the other candidates. I see a guy who may well win the nomination the way Nixon did in '68, a loveless candidacy. Is that possible? Is it possible your party would nominate someone they just didn't like?
It's too early to tell. We haven't had a single vote cast. We haven't had a single caucus or a primary state event yet. When New Hampshire rolls around, I think that's going to be a very telltale sign. This is, again, where it's got to be earned. It can't be.
Who would be a better president, Barack Obama or Michelle Bachmann?
Don't get me to that game.
I'm asking.
Don't get me to that game.
Okay, Michelle, Herman Cain or Barack Obama. I think it's about one or two guys in the party besides yourself you might vote for. I don't think I would include Herman Cain. I don't think I'd include Bachmann. I might include Mitt Romney, but I'm not sure.
Listen, anyone who has a founding, a grounding in how this economy works and can get it back on its feet understands the need for tax reform, regulatory reform, energy independence, and addressing our international needs.
But you've been surrounded by Loonington arguments. I mean, Michelle Bachmann said we shouldn't pay any taxes. How can you sit next to a person who says there shouldn't be any taxes and have a reasonable conversation with
It's the primary phase of this campaign. All voices ought to be heard. I mean, look at the Democrat Party. Same thing. All voices are heard, and then it's winnowed down.
You know what I had to say to you?
And thank
you for your service. I thank you for your service, for being the sane man in the Republican Party. It reminds us there's actually somebody has their feet on the ground. We all think you like you. We don't destroy you by saying you're doing well, because that will probably kill you. Tell your friends to come over too. We'd like to meet some of them too. Those guys you hang around with on debate nights. Thank you. Very impressive governor.
Pleasure to see you.
I'm very familiar with Utah politics. You were a great governor, enormously popular out there. I think you did a fabulous job as a United States ambassador to China. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for coming to Hardball.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for being crazy, as you put it. In other words, sane in the Republican Party.